Good morning, YouTubers. Forest Boy here. Welcome to a beautiful, beautiful day in the Forest of Dean. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. It's it's sometime in November. It's 11 o'clock in the morning and it's a lovely 9 degrees, beautiful sunny day. It was -2 and a thick frost when I got up this morning. These days are very, very special in the forest. All the colours, and it's absolutely stunning. So I thought we'd have a little ride around, perhaps go down to the Wye Valley, do maybe 40-50 miles, see if we can see some of the autumn colours, and I'll give you my thoughts on the BMW R1250 GS Trophy edition, which I've had 6 months now and has done 10,000 miles. So if you're interested in any of that, get yourself a cup of tea, join me after the intro. Perfect day today to see the autumn colours because we've got nice sunshine, blue sky, or bluish sky. It's an ideal time. They're never quite the same on a dull day. It really is a magical place. And with this avenue here, it's just beautiful. So, the GS 1250 Trophy Edition, I've had it 6 months. It's done 10,000 miles. I haven't had a single issue with it, to be quite honest. It's been superb. I've gone through 2 sets of tyres, the original A41 Bridgestones that came with it, and a set of Michelin 6s. Strangely enough, the A41s, the front tyre was gone, and I do mean gone, at 3,500 miles, but the back tyre had loads left in it. So I put a set of 6s, Michelin 6s on, to go on a European tour, and the back Michelin 6 was gone at about 5, maybe 5,500, yet the front Michelin 6 had loads left in it, at least another 1,000 if not more. So I'm currently running the A41 Bridgestone out on the back and the Michelin 6 out on the front, but they're both virtually gone now. So that's roughly 5,000 miles out of a pair of tyres, which is as good as I ever get, to be quite honest. I mean, I do like the Road Techs, the Metscher Road Techs, the 01s, but I can't get on a GS. I can only get 3,000 max out of them, so it's just too expensive. Handling wise, Bridgestones and the Michelins, not much to choose between them really. There are different profiles on them, so they do. The Bridgestone certainly runs a lot closer to the edge of the tyre than the Michelin does, but they both handle beautifully. I can't fault either of them in the wet or the dry. I don't think there's much to choose between them. Some people will prefer one and some the other. I'll go back to Michelin 6s because the front Bridgestone just wore out too quickly for me. It's slightly better on fuel, I think, than my previous GS, 2 or 3 more mpg. Whether that's because it's new, I don't know, but it seems to be slightly better. It does 200 miles on tank at a push. I can't get any more. I mean, very often I can only get 170, but that's more to do with me and my heavy right hand than it is the bike, really. On a tour, yeah, you're going to get 200 miles from the tank, so, which is fine. Especially if you're touring Europe, because there are always plenty of petrol stations in a 200 mile radius. Get into it, get out into Asia, it's a different thing. Or Alaska, then you're carrying a 2-gallon tank on the back. So fuel wise, yeah, it's I think it's slightly better than the previous one, but that could be because it's newer, I'm not sure. It's had its original service and a 6,000 mile service, obviously. Cost was minimal, to be honest. I've done my usual conversion on the seat where I put memory foam in, and I've also got one of these cool covers fitted, so it's very, very comfortable. I mean, I can do an 8 or 10 hour day if I need to quite easily. I mean, obviously I'm stiff at the end of that, but I can do it easily. Have done several times already. I took it across Europe a few months ago. I did the Pyrenees from coast to coast. I think from home and back, that was about just over 2,000 miles, 2,200 miles. It was faultless. There is a video to that in my videos if you want to see it. Unfortunately, the bloody GoPro let me down again, so it's not the video I wanted to make, but it's quite a decent video. Shows a lot of the Pyrenees. I've got a trip planned. It's planned, booked. I'm taking 10 guys. We're doing the Alps this time. So we go across France into Germany. We do the B500 in Germany, and then we do Switzerland, Italy, France, obviously, down to the south of France and back. We're taking 2 weeks. That's going to be about 2,600 miles. Taking in as many cols and high passes as we can again. I'm trying to think of some issues that I've had with it, but to be quite honest, I haven't had any. I mean, I had vibration in the bars, which I've had on every GS I've owned. I fitted heavy bar ends, or heavy bar weights to the bar ends to eliminate it, and I haven't had any issues since. I also use these little wraps. I can't stand the big thick ones, but these little ones are okay. I don't get any vibration at all. I do hear a lot of people say they get vibration through the pegs. I can't say that I've ever noticed that. This one's came with the adaptive headlights. I know some people have had to wait for them, but this one actually came with it. It's got the electronic suspension, which is amazing. It's just amazing. It just works. I run it in dynamic auto on the suspension all the time. I never change it, and that works for every type of road. I ride a lot of, if you've watched my videos, you know I ride a lot of nadgery, gnarly, bumpy, horrible lanes, even gravel tracks. I don't change it, I just leave it there. I run the engine in dynamic, again, all the time, unless I'm going to do a bit of off-road, in which case I'd put it in Enduro Pro. I'm going to stop talking about the bike and just show you these colours. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? That's the Forest of Dean. We're down in the Wye Valley now, and that's looking back up to the Forest of Dean. So the Forest of Dean runs from there and runs backwards. Isn't that beautiful? So I've got the Forest of Dean on the left and the Wye River on my right. This run is in a couple of videos, but I never get bored with it. Look at that. The perfect day to see the autumn colours. Oh, here we go. Wow again. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, I run the suspension in dynamic auto, and I run the engine in dynamic all the time unless I'm off-road, in which case I put it into Enduro Pro. I'm not going to go through the specifications of the bike because there are hundreds of videos on YouTube spelling out and explaining all the different modes and user interfaces. I don't need to explain that, to be quite honest. I don't use it. Once I set the bike up how I want it, I never touch it again. I'm not one for constantly messing around and scrolling through the TFT dash. I set it up how I want it and I leave it alone. I don't touch it. The same with the suspension and the engine modes. I'm not constantly flicking through modes. I just leave it alone. Okay guys, so sorry about this, but as usual with GoPro, it failed halfway through the making of the video. There was a section coming up where I talk about the handling of the bike and the engine characteristics of the bike, i.e. the torque. The GS is famous for its torque, and that's what makes it such a flexible, good all-round bike. I actually rode it through some, just after this section here, rode it through some very, very nadgery, muddy, slippery, horrible potholy lanes, basically tracks, and kept the suspension in dynamic auto, kept the engine in dynamic, and unfortunately you can't see, but the bike went through there beautifully, didn't have any issues whatsoever, and just coped with it. And I was comfortable. It was chucking the bike around, but I sat on the bike. I was very comfortable, had no issues whatsoever. And I talked quite a bit about the handling, where the bike tips into corners, how quickly it turns, how maneuverable and how agile it is, and mostly about the torque of the engine. I mean, the bike will just pull from low revs in virtually any gear. I mean, certainly from first to fifth, it will pull at low revs and go right through to quite a good speed. It's not the fastest bike in the world, but it's certainly not the slowest either, and it's certainly more than fast enough for most roads in this country. So there was a section in there where I talked about that, but obviously anyone that's looked at these videos knows what the GS is all about, and this is not a review. It's purely my opinion on the bike. I won't give my opinion on GoPro at the moment because I'm too cheesed off for the bloody thing, but the sooner I can get an alternative, possibly the DJI 4, the better. Anyway, I'll carry on with the video now, as just to let you know that there was a section in there, because otherwise people will say, well, why didn't you talk about the engine and the suspension and the handling? I did, but GoPro obviously didn't like it. Anyway, we'll carry on now. Thanks, guys. So I suppose we have to talk about the engine and gearbox. As I've said, the engine is beautiful, it's full of torque, it pulls like a train. The gearbox is still the same as when I first had it. It hasn't got any better, it hasn't got any worse. It's okay. The quick shifter works most of the time. It's not a good quick shifter. Apparently it's much better on the new 1300, but I watched a video the other day of a guy riding the new 1300 and the gears were clunking away just the same as they do on the 1250. It's not horrendous, but it's not good. It's a quick shifter and it works, but I wouldn't say it's a good quick shifter. I'm not sure there's much else to say about it, really. It's well documented what people think about the quick shifter. It certainly works better at high revs than it does at low revs. First and second, leave it alone. TFT dash. Yeah, it's a nice dash. As I said earlier, I don't mess with it. I set it to what I want originally, and that's where it stays. I don't mess around with it, to be honest with you. Oh, road closed. God damn it. It's a nice dash. It's very clear. It's very precise. Very concise. It gives you all the information you want. You can set it how you want it. I don't know what to say about a dash. It's a dash. It gives you information. That's all you needed to do, isn't it? I don't use the app or the connectivity stuff. I don't want any of that. I don't need it. I played around with it when I first had the bike, but to be honest, it killed the battery on my phone so quickly that I really couldn't be messed with it. Screen, I've got the standard screen on. I actually prefer the screen off my old bike, which was the Jivy touring screen, but it's too big for video in, so I had to take it off. This screen's okay. This is the standard screen that it came with. It's adjustable on the knob, as everybody knows there. Yeah, it does a good job. I didn't like it without the little winglet on, but I put the winglet on and it's okay. I ride all winds and weathers with it. It seems okay. I still prefer a bigger screen, but I'm not going to keep changing screens just to make videos, so I stick with this one. Road closed. Great. Okay, I'm going to pull in here. There used to be a little pull in. I haven't been up here for a long time. I could just do a quick walk around. Careful on the leaf mould. It'll have you off in a split second. Used to be a cattle grid there, it's been filled in. How gorgeous is this? Wow, how beautiful. Very, very slippery though. Go, this'll do. I've got to go back the other way, so I'll turn around. The lock on it is amazing. I'm in a narrow little country lane and it just whips around as easy as you like. Okay. So, a quick walk around. 1250 GS Trophy version. I did put the tank sticker on. I don't know why, I just like the look of it. I don't think it does anything. I put tank bag on. Up and back risers. These little inserts. That winglet. Which is a bit dirty. My sat nav, my nav 6 in the mount up there. That box has been on about 4 bikes, I think now. My own, I made a plate, which a friend of mine powder coated for me, so I can fit my top box on. It's an old Vario box off an old 750, I think, originally. I've got the standard can. I ride abroad a lot, so they've become very anti-noisy cans abroad, so I tend to just leave it alone and use it as standard, and then I don't have any issues. I've got a Michelin 6 on the back at the moment, and a Bridgestone A41 on the front. No, other way around. Sorry. Bridgestone A41 on the back and a Michelin 6 on the front. BMW branded brakes. They're absolutely brilliant. They stop the bike. That's what they're supposed to do, and that's what they do. You know, they work really well. There's a USB charging point there. I used a cool cover on top of my own seat conversion. There's another charging point there. I've got some engine guards, head guards on, because I do a little bit of off-road occasionally, and it just saves, you can see there, it just saves the engine getting damaged. Well, that bike's done 10,000 miles in 6 months. It would have been more, but those that watch my regular videos know I've been laid up for 8 weeks after some surgery, so it would normally be on about 11 or 12 by now, but anyway, it's on 10,000. That's what it is. Oh, I put a fender extender on there just to protect the front of the engine a bit. I think that's all I've done to it. I tend not to mess with them too much. I think BMW know how to build bikes certainly better than I do. So I tend to ride it as it is. The things I do are to make it comfortable for me, to personalise it so that I can ride it. I mean, this seat's probably an inch and a half higher than standard because I've put memory foam in it and the cool cover on. It gives me a bit more distance in the legs, the bars up and back, which just takes the pressure off my lower back. I ride with the seat high at the front, low at the back, which pushes me back again. And when I put the memory foam in, I do the same thing. There's more memory foam at the front than there is at the back, so it moves me back slightly. So that, in conjunction with the bars, gives me the perfect riding position for me. Not for everybody else, obviously, but for me. That's it. I think it comes standard with the spotlights. So I put a headlight protector on it because I don't want to buy a new headlight. Again, I do a bit of off-roading, so I can get bashed about. I think that's about it. I mean, it's been a superb bike so far. So was the last one. So was the one before that. I've had 4 GSs now. One of those was a GSA, but I've had 4 GSs. Those 4 GSs I've done. The 4 GSs, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they've done about 200, roughly 250,000 miles on the 4. And I've only ever broken down once. That was a fuel control sensor. I was picked up within an hour. I was back on the road within an hour and a half. That's it. That's my total. I've done 5 continents on GS's. I don't know how many countries, 60 or 70, all over the world. They're just reliable. They just, as you know, they say, they do what it says on the tin. I mean, they're well proven. Everybody knows what they're capable of. Everybody knows what they do. I know there are haters out there that despise them, but I really don't know why. It's a superb bike. It's well balanced. That boxer engine being low down gives it amazing slow speed balance. I mean, I can ride up to a junction, literally stop, and my feet are still on the pegs, and you balance there for some time, and if the lights are about to change, you just stay balanced and ride away. Oh, that's something else. It's got hill start or hill assist, whatever it's called. So Basically, if you're on a hill and you need to stop, you squeeze this brake really hard, it brings the hill hold on. I'm not sure if it'll work here like this. I'll try it. Yeah, there it is, but it's not actually not working because the bike's not running or moving. But there's a green light that comes on that tells you that the handbrake is on, and then all you do to pull away is you just ease the clutch out and it automatically releases the handbrake and you pull away as normal. You don't do anything different. It's okay. It's not something I pay for, but there are odd times when it's handy on a really steep exit from a junction or something. But to be honest, if you can ride, you don't really need that. There's not really much more to say about it. It's just a damn good bike. I've took the rails off my old GSA, so I've actually got the rails. I've changed these footrest hangers for the GSA ones. You can see that hole there. So I just pop out those two screws, pop the rails on. It literally takes 5 minutes, and I use the aluminium top loading panniers, which I prefer. Although I don't know why I use panniers. I never used to. I used to just take a roll bag and go off for weeks and weeks on end. So and all of a sudden now I take panniers, and somehow I managed to fill the blooming things. Anyway, there she is. BMW R1250 GS Trophy Edition. It's a fantastic bike. I don't know what else to say about it. It's well tested, well proven. They've sold over 1 million, so they must be doing something right, despite what, you know, what the haters say. It's a phenomenal piece of kit. It's probably not the best anything, but it's very, very good at everything. And isn't this a beautiful location to stop and look at a bike? Look at it. In fact, I'm going to take a photograph while I'm here. Then I'm going to jump on the bike and I'm going to go home. So there we are. That's pretty much it for today. Just as I said, a little ride round, see the autumn colours in the forest. We popped down into the By Valley as well, and not necessarily a review of the bike, because there are thousands of those on YouTube. Just really 10,000 miles from an owner's point of view, as you can tell. I really like the bike. I'm very pleased with it. It does everything I want. Well, not sure what more you can ask from a bike, to be honest. I'd caught a slide down on some leaves. So careful. Yeah, I'm very happy with the bike. I have no intention of changing, certainly not for 2 years. Which time it'll be on 50,000. Bring it in and get another. Who knows what that will be. I know what it won't be. It won't be electric. Anyway, I'm going to head on home now. I'm not far away. Quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. So, this is Forest Boy signing out. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, not a review, just my thoughts. If you did, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, make some comments, keep them polite, and if you want to see any more or you like the content, hit the subscribe and notification button and you'll get told when I put more up. I've got some plans for the future, but I'll talk about those in another video. So, Forest Boy signing out. Take care, ride safe. See you all again. Bye for now.